Hello and welcome to 3 on 3, the weekly news show where three friends get together to talk about three topics of something that's happened over the past week. Joining me as always is Matt and Nick, and I'm Marty. And gentlemen, I know we haven't done this in a while. Hopefully we can get back into the routine, but we've all been super busy. We were actually all in the same place together at Gen Con, but Nick avoided me the whole time, so I never even got to see you.
I was busy running demos, but yeah, I was like, I'm here.
Welcome back. I missed you guys, even though I've seen you in person, both of you. It is nice to be back. We just haven't had a chance to sync up and talk about what has been going on in the world of news. So it's awesome to be back. What are our topics? We're going to start with Nick. And Nick, what is your topic today?
I'm going to talk about the Steam Deck.
You're just going to make me want to buy one. The problem.
Yeah, Nick's going to make everyone want a Steam Deck.
I told him it's only $5 now. That's all you need right now.
Marty,
you might need like another $650 later, but it's only $5 now.
I know. You keep saying that to me like it's going to get me over there. Marty, what are you talking about?
I'm going to be talking about the acquisition this past week from the Embracer Group. More acquisitions. They seem to be doing this a lot, and two of the big acquisitions they made this past week. And Matt, what about you?
They're huge. Yeah, I'm talking about Waverace 64, but they just added that to the N64 Switch expansion, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about the N64 expansion pass and their classic catalog, and just a little bit about that. Okay. So we'll end with that, but we'll kick it off with Nick. Nick, you got that thing. You got that thing on you.
Here we go.
Yeah, I gotta have.
All right, tell us a little bit about the Steam Deck.
It's amazing. It's a game changer, and I know Marty's gonna be mad, but like this basically all but retired my Switch. Like I'm gonna bust out the Switch for very specific games that are not available anywhere.
Console exclusives,
Steam,
right? Yeah.
It's on PC. It's like I'm gonna pick it up on Steam because it feels amazing. I had some reservations about it initially because the only hardware that Steam has ever done is the Steam controller, right? But if you've ever bought a Steam controller, it's a pretty solid piece of hardware. But I don't know if you want to call it FOMO or whatever. I'm like, never mind. Day two. I just got mine because I was in the day two shipping wave.
Yeah.
I put down and I went gonzo and I got the big one.
You can just buy, like you can get one right now, right? Like, I mean, if I were to order one on Steam, would it come or do I still have to like
You would have to wait. There's still a line. Like they sped up the production times, but it would still be a couple months.
Oh, wow. Is it heavy? It looks heavy.
No, it's actually, I mean, it's heavier than a Switch for sure. But it's actually, it was a lot lighter than I was expecting. I was expecting like something laptop-ish.
How fast does it boot up?
Super fast. I mean, like, it's sleeping now.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see that interface. I don't know if you can see it. You got Elden Ring on there, right?
Yeah, it's Elden Ring right here. Like, I can run Elden Ring. I can run God of War. All these games that Switch cannot run or run.
So I have a question. So on those games that are very keyboard specific, is that just games you just won't play on there?
Yeah, probably. But there's like a virtual keyboard that pops up, and it is a touch screen like the Switch. So typing is not the end of the world. But yeah, I probably wouldn't play. I wouldn't play like a text-based game.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's like any more games like that, like Civilization or
good example.
You need a mouse and keyboard for that. You need them or for like a lot of the RTS games, but those games are far and few between anymore, right? Like more of the games are controller based, and even like they're implementing controller schemes into like I'm not sure about Diablo 4, but I know like the Diablo games, while I like playing them keyboard and mouse, they have a great controller support for them ever since they shifted over to consoles with Diablo 3.
The Switch version of Diablo 3 is amazing. The controls are great.
It is.
They are. And I think they'll and I don't know if they'll be included like day one on PC or not, but you're just seeing more and more newer games just shift out of that mouse and keyboard to at least give people an option to have a controller. So that's what makes the Steam Deck a little more appealing to me. I remember, did you guys ever see the Steam controller?
Yeah, I had one.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah, because they tried to emulate, a mouse and keyboard feel with that thing, and it didn't really work as well as they wanted.
Yeah. So,
but Steam Deck, game changer. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say I'm very interested, but I'm almost still knowing it's 2 months out. It may be a while, but I'm almost interested in second gen. It came out, it was super popular. They're probably getting a lot of feedback. I would like to see what Gen 2 looks like.
Yeah,
maybe a little more powerful and stuff. But now, that still could be a long way away. But still, I do have a little bit of FOMO, but I'm sitting there thinking, but I don't know. What about you, Matt? Is this like You will be getting one soon?
I want one bad. Right now, like, I just stop with the $5. It's not just $5. I know it's $5 now. It's $5 now. Basically, no. Ever since they've announced that I've been interested in it, I did, but I did choose the play date over it. Like both those systems kind of like started pre-ordering around the same time, and so I got myself. And the Playdate wasn't super cheap. I mean, that was still like $150 or something like that. So I was like, oh, I can't get this and the Steam Deck. I felt the Playdate was a little more unique in what it needed to do. Like I can still play PC games on my PC. And I haven't been traveling as much as I used to, right? Like if I start traveling again a lot, then definitely, I want a Steam Deck on the plane to be able to play, like you said, God of War, Elden Ring, whatever, like those style of games are awesome, portably. So yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes on it. I will likely grab one eventually before they do a second gen one, but we'll see. Right now, I'm still just waiting to play yours, Nick.
Yeah. Well, yeah, next time you come over, I'll bring it for sure. But I mean, it has a better, it has backlighting on the screen. There's an anti-glare screen, so it's actually a better screen than the Switch LED, right? But you touched on the one knock is the battery life. Like you get 2 hours of Elden Ring or 2 hours of God of War, like those really graphic intensive games. So, but I do have a battery pack that I had for a Switch anyway. But it sucks to have to carry that around. It's like it's already heavy. That just makes it heavier.
Yeah, I will say that it's funny. I think early on, I bet Nintendo didn't see this as a big deal, but I've heard a lot of people like yourself say, you know what, I'm just going to play Nintendo exclusives on the Switch. Mm-hmm. Nintendo needs to get off their butt and hurry up and announce a follow-up because the Switch is showing its age really bad now.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, well, maybe go drop $5 on this. Pull that up.
Well, and also it ties into your Steam account. All your Steam Cloud saves are there.
Yeah.
And also,
I do have a lot of Steam games.
If you're on your home network, you can do streaming too. So even if your regular gaming PC is more powerful, you can stream it off the Steam Deck from your regular gaming PC. Like all the great things about Steam are right there on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And they Valve understands like online, and we'll touch about Nintendo's like understanding online in Matt's segment.
Let's see. So this past week, a very large organization, Embracer Group, went out and did some more purchasing. Now, for those who don't know, Embracer is one of these companies just sucking up a lot of companies, especially early. All of us are into board games. They got Asmodee earlier this year, which I guess is the largest in the world. They own a lot of smaller companies underneath them, Fantasy Flight, Plan B, they own Catan, Ticket to Ride, all that good stuff. But they're also soaking up a bunch of video game people too. Well, this week they kind of did something a little different when they went out and grabbed the rights to Lord of the Rings. Now, this had been, I'm looking this up to make sure I have it right, this had been from the Saul Zaentz company. That's who has had it since 1976. And has had control of it. And now the Embracer Group has it, and has it for everything, including movies, television, games, etc. And
everything but books.
Everything but books. Yes, thank you. Which is really interesting because I don't understand the deal. So Amazon's getting ready to start their Rings of Power series. Somehow they got rights to something to make this. But from the way I read this is now Embracer now has those rights, but anything in development is still being made. So my question to y'all is, Disney bought up Star Wars and Marvel, and things changed, and some people are happy about it, some people weren't. Does this concern you with this billion-dollar company now having rights to Lord of the Rings, which a lot of people cherish even more than possibly the fanboys of Star Wars and Marvel?
Yeah, I mean, the Lord of the Rings fans are up there for sure.
It doesn't. Right now, it doesn't concern me too much. I don't know what their plans are for it. Right, like until we see, if there is some sort of oversaturation where they just start pumping stuff out without quality, I think that's the concern. Right, like just too much to try to make $1 without actually putting thought behind it. But we haven't seen anything like that yet. I think for me, the idea of more Lord of the Rings content, I'm excited for. There's a Golem game in the works. I'm excited to play this Golem stealth video game coming out. I am excited to watch Rings of Power, which we could probably talk at length about, but we probably will. I'm excited to see that. Lord of the Rings trilogy in my eyes is perfect. The movie trilogy. I didn't read the books, so I do just come at that from a movie only perspective, if you will, right? I read The Hobbit and watched The Hobbit, and The Hobbit was fine. Not as good as not as good as Lord of the Rings, right? Yeah, it's a lot different. But it didn't need to be 3 movies long. But that aside, I guess for me, I'm excited to see what they do with it, so long as they're not just pumping out quantity over quality.
Yeah. I have some reservations from the board game side. Like Marty, as you mentioned, we're all from board gamers, and we all kind of knew that when Embracer and Esme took over some of those companies, there were some shakeups at all of those companies, and they're cutting jobs and kind of changed around the org chart of each of those companies. So I wouldn't say Embracer has necessarily been hands off, because at least on the board game side, they very much were not. But also from someone who works at like a megacorp for his day job, and practices like Six Sigma methodology, I know there's a lot of fat that can be trimmed at board game companies, right? So I can see it from both ways. Hopefully they're hands off with the Lord of the Rings IP, but I don't know.
My only concern is not sticking to the source material. I think that's my big beef, and I think that's a lot of people's issue. Tolkien and his sons were very, very protective of their stuff, and Tolkien even said, "Look, I don't want anybody messing with my stuff." Now somebody can mess with this stuff if he wants to, and there'll be a lot. I mean, think about it, a lot of people were upset when Disney came in and said, "Hey, all that canon from Star Wars? Hand wipe, it's all gone now." A lot of people are like, "Wait, what?" So I'm worried that they're going to start shaking things up like that. I love the Lord of the Rings board games and content. I don't care if there's a lot of it out there, as long as it sticks to the source material. And it's good because they've talked about going back and having like shows or movies that focus on individual characters, Aragorn or Gandalf. That'd be cool to see, where did Aragorn come from and the history of Gandalf, etc. So we'll see. We'll see with the Embracer. But like you said, they haven't kept their hands out of everything. But it is interesting now that because they have Lord of the Rings, basically they can make video games and board games anything they want with it.
Yeah, I was surprised. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, a little aside, is that they also bought limited run games.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was going to be the next thing that I brought up. So Limited Run Games, for those who don't know, is a company that basically takes games that are typically digital only or older games and re-releases them in physical format. There is a huge collector mentality among video gamers, I being one of them. I still like to buy physical versions and stuff. So they take games, for example, Matt, you're going to be talking about Nintendo 64 games in a little bit. Mm-hmm. They re-released Doom 64.
Yeah.
It came out
a physical thing that you can buy. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
They came out with digital only, but then they came out, how about this? How about if you buy what was the original Nintendo 64 box, Doom 64, and there's just a Switch code in there, or Switch cartridge in there, basically, to be able to play the game. The company is based in Cary, North Carolina, and I'm from North Carolina, so it's cool having a local company do that. They have a physical store and everything. They were purchased by Embracer, and I was first upset about it because crap. Now it's got another big corporation running this. But I heard somebody's perspective the other day. It was pretty good. First, good for those guys. They probably made a ton of money. They're still involved in it. But now that now that Embracer has all this video game licenses now, and I forgot that they used to be THQ Nordic. Somebody was listing all these IPs they now own, so they can dip into their own library and reprint physical versions of those that Limited Run might not have been able to do before.
Yeah. For me, what excites me the most out of it, just as someone who also loves the classic games brought back as a physical collector's item. I mean, I like collector's editions anyways, and they would do a lot of those where they'll do a collector's edition of a game that maybe didn't get a collector's edition, but they can kind of go back in time and bring those. But they Limited Run has storefronts, like at least one or two. I'm not sure how many. Just one.
There's one in Cary, I know for sure.
Yeah,
and I still haven't gone yet. I'll be there. I'll be going soon.
And well, I wonder if this helps them, expand that footprint across the United States, where limited run shops could pop up all over. Now they have, the bandwidth to do something like that. So I mean, I think that could be kind of cool. But that was my take on it. Is, are we going to see more limited run stores pop up?
Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. We'll see. You talk about all the IPs they own, right? We might see more crossover products too, not outside of limited run too, just in terms of who does what. So it might open up some cool possibilities.
Yeah, cool. And if y'all never checked out limited run, go do so. Like for example, just recently over the summer, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge came out. It's been out for a while. I said, I'm not playing it. I'm buying the physical version from Limited Run, so I've pre-ordered it. It's supposed to come out this fall, so I can't wait to get that. And it comes with a $5 personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut, so it's part of the box.
That's a solid promotion right there. It's a good tie-in.
It's a good game, too.
Yeah, it is fun. I still haven't beaten it, but I know it's super short. All right, so I guess, are we good on Embracer? We wrapping it up here with Nintendo 64. So I have held off on getting the expansion pass for Nintendo 64 on the Switch. If you're not aware, Nintendo, their online service is, I don't know, for an individual, it's like $25 a year, something like that. And if you wanted to add, another $25 or whatnot, you can get the expansion pass, which includes the N64 catalog that they provide. They pick which games go up on it, and Sega Genesis. It also comes along with like Animal Crossing expansion, Mario Kart 8 extra tracks. There's quite a bit that comes with it, so you are getting a good amount of content. But I still kind of held off. I didn't really, I had the Sega Genesis collection on something else. Actually, I think I had it on the Switch. So I had most of those games already on the Switch. And the N64 games that they had, I didn't feel like I really needed them. But I personally, Waverace is one of my favorite N64 games, period. I really, really enjoy that game and have very fond memories of playing it. The water physics, the speed, all the different tracks. Like I can remember the tracks in my head from how much I played that, and they haven't really offered that up. They haven't. There was a sequel on the GameCube, but realistically, it was just the after the GameCube sequel came and went. There's been nothing. There's been nothing Waverace, and I don't feel that. I also don't feel that like jet ski games have really gotten a good moment in the sun since then. They've just kind of been like left behind, right? And I think there's some fun to be had there. So I went and I did get the expansion pass. I upgraded to get it and played it. Now personally, now that I have it, do you guys have the expansion pass? Did you already? Marty, you have it.
Yep.
Nick, do you have it as well?
No, I have not.
You have not bought it. So I had a lot in there. I played Waverace. I actually thought it was really good. They did clean up the graphics. It's not the original graphics. They've sharpened it up and they brightened it up a little bit. So it does look a little different, but it still plays the same as I pretty much remember. I still think that the water physics are really good. Jumping off of waves. Like you can there's like wave jumps and there's all different kinds of stuff. So I think it's really cool. Waverace was great. What did you think of it, Marty?
So today's the first time I cranked it up and played it. And immediately very nostalgic. The game came out in 1996. And, at the time, you're right. The water physics were like, oh my gosh, look at this. This is amazing. It actually looks like everybody knows what the water used to look like. Go back and play Ocarina of Time. The water that's in there, right? So it was amazing. The only thing, I couldn't remember how to do anything. So I'm racing and going off ramps and going, I don't know how to do flips. I'm pressing buttons.
Did you figure it out?
I'm searching online and said, finally, I went to one of the modes like practice or something like that. And they started giving hints at the bottom of the screen. Oh, on the ramp, press up, then down, and then you'll do a flip. Left or right for a barrel roll. It's like, I totally forgot all that stuff. And once I started doing that, it was fun.
You do like half circles too when you're, if you're just like, going, you can do like a quarter circle to the right or to the left, and he'll like spin around his jet ski, or he'll do like a handstand on it. And
turn backwards.
I could not figure out the tricks when I started it either. It was the same, but I was trying to do flips, and he wasn't doing any flips. But luckily, that game really like the core of it is just there's no boost button. There's no there's not a lot of it really banks on the water physics, and you just gaining speed by hitting the buoys, like going back and forth. And I don't know, man. I really like, and you know what I remember being really cool back in the day, and it actually was still cool. If you make it to camp, I think it's like the Crystal Lake one where it's super calm. There's no waves whatsoever. I thought that was so cool. Like to go from like going up and down and then just be this flat, like, and the jet ski does control differently dependent on like what waves or what kind of water you're resting on. Nick, do you have any fond memories of Waverace?
Yeah, I love that game growing up. So I'm actually glad to hear that it still holds up.
I think it does,
Nintendo has let a lot of racing franchises other than Mario Kart languish, right? I've been waiting for a new F-Zero game forever.
Thank you. That's a whole nother topic.
That's another show. But yeah, I mean, it's great. And like when Marty mentioned 96, I'm like, oh yeah, like I had just graduated high school, right? Like that's how old we are. That we remember as kids, but 28 years ago, there's people who are legitimately discovering this game for the first time now. So that's neat.
I know, it's crazy. And I do say though, like now outside of, I think Wave Race holds up very well. I still think Wave Race is fun today. You can go through the races, you can unlock it. I think there's a lot of game there to play. I don't think that's the case with every game though. I don't think every Nintendo 64 game that they have on there holds up. I mean, you're looking at games like Win Back. Or even Star Fox 64.
Yeah. Oh wait, you can't impugn Star Fox 64.
Oh,
love that game.
Fisticuffs.
See, have you played it recently though? Like I guess
no, I haven't actually.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like in my head, yes, I loved that game. I loved all of the games that are on there are all like super nice. Like just reading through a couple of them, they have like Mario Tennis, Mario Kart 64. They have Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, which does still play and hold up very well. However, I think they've redone Ocarina of Time on like the 3DS and made it like, fix the controls, fix the graphics a little bit. And that's the preferred version to play. When you go back and play the N64, like vanilla version, if you will, you're kind of like, oh man, I miss these quality of life things. And I think that's a big thing with nostalgia. The games play differently in your head as you try to remember them. And once you go back, I think PlayStation 1 games are the worst for this. Like every PS1 game that I remember that I fondly loved, if you go back and play it now, it's like, this is so bad. Just because
like janky controls, bad UI.
Yeah. Like remember Siphon Filter? Like, man, that game, I remember Siphon Filter being like a really cool shooting, and oh my God, it's so bad. Or you can't even like control it. But there's just a lot of games like now Final Fantasy VII, my favorite game of all time. Nick, what are your favorite games of all time? You play it now and it's just like, it is slower, right? Like it's just, it was a different time. And it was also the start of 64-bit, like full 3D graphics. So there's just a thing with nostalgia, right? Like Marty, what do you got to say about this? Like, have you went back and played the other games in the catalog and found the same thing?
I played Mario Tennis because I used to love it. It kind of holds up, but be honest with you, beyond that, no, it's like I'm not really going to go through Ocarina of Time again.
Right.
I think Super Mario 64 to me holds up a little bit better than Ocarina of Time, but I'm not going to play it.
That's again. The same thing though. They've redone that on 3DS where they've fixed controls and you play it the way that like you remember it, how like controls are today. But when you go back and actually play the N64 real version,
F-Zero, I think, stands up okay.
It's very fast. The speed is still there because I just played that one too.
F-Zero's pretty good.
What's really good?
Holds up.
Paper Mario is actually really good too.
Well, it's this RPG. Yeah.
Paper Mario's good.
It's an RPG and it doesn't have the 3D 64-bit graphics.
Oh, right.
It has a unique art style with the 2D stickers that holds up. Right? Yeah. Like that's why a lot of Super Nintendo games hold up more than the 3D graphic era stuff because it's just that 2D plane stuff, right? Like they have a unique, and that's kind of sought after these days. Like, people want that 8-bit, like kind of the HD 2D, whatever, like they want that back. And I think the SNES stuff holds up more than the 3D era N64 and PlayStation 1 stuff.
I will say that as far as the value of the expansion pass, maybe Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis definitely isn't worth it. I just this weekend have never owned Mario Kart 8. They started releasing so many courses now on the expansion pass. I'm like, it was on sale for $40 over the weekend, so I went and picked it up. And then I started downloading all these courses. Like, holy cow, they give you a lot of courses, and they're going to continue through 2023. So if you like Mario Kart, it may be worth the expansion pass, and Animal Crossing if you like that too.
Yeah, exactly. Is it worth it? I really wanted to play Waverace. I'm not sure if it is or not. I let's just say I don't have it on a reoccurring subscription. We'll see by this time next year if they have added enough to want to keep me in there. Have they put something else? Because if they don't, if the catalog still stays the same, with just maybe like a game or two here, because the SNES and classic Nintendo that comes with the normal online subscription, those game rollouts are really slow. Like they might release one every few months, and it's like I'm using that because I need online anyway for it, so I'm getting the online, but it's not for the SNES and NES catalog. It's just.
So Nick, what would push you over the edge? What would they offer to say, okay, I'm in?
I don't know. Like, I have too many new games that I want to play right now. It's less an issue of me wanting to explore old games, but my current backlog is too big. I'm trying to think of
Nick's
one game that would
he's understanding his limits and understanding nostalgia. Like, I know I'm not going to beat Legend of Zelda or Ocarina of Time on the N64 either. I'll probably play it for 15 minutes and say, oh, that was fun, and then turn it off. But
I'm waiting on GBA. Give me the stinking GBA library.
Give me all those Give me those Castlevania games.
No, Game Boy Advance also was so many great JRPGs. Like Golden Sun, those Golden Sun games. Please bring those back. Right? There's Fire Emblem, World Ends With You, although that's gotten some remasters.
Advance Wars.
Advance Wars, which we didn't get.
Still waiting. Tons of. Oh my gosh, I was just thinking it and I just lost it. Tons of Zelda games has been lost to time because there's no other way to play them. Minish Cap and the two Oracle of Seasons and Ages and stuff.
Yeah.
So GBA, give me GBA.
Yeah, GBA. I would hop onto GBA for sure.
Well, I would say if you like Wave Race, jump in and maybe try it out. Right?
Yeah. Like you said, it's not recurring, right? So just get it for a little bit and try it.
Yeah. Nintendo still has lots of issues with their
Here's what I do is
a la carte options.
Yeah. I split it with my friends. So you can have up to 8 people in the family pass. So I just got a bunch of friends together. We all just split the cost.
Yeah, that's
the way to do it. I don't have any friends, Marty.
All right. I'll add you to my pass. So we're running a little bit long here, but before we get out of here, we do want to do a quick 3 and out of maybe something you've been playing, something you've been watching that you just want to tell us about. Matt, what you've been looking at?
I just went and saw Dragon Ball Z superhero movie. I
heard it was super fun.
It was super fun. Listen, here's something. This was the first Dragon Ball Z thing I've ever watched. I wasn't really into Dragon Ball Z. I always thought it was cool. I knew the characters, but I never really watched it. Andy started getting back into it. They put Dragon Ball Z in Fortnite, so that just kind of everyone was like, "Oh!" And in Fortnite, you can watch episodes, so that got Andy interested in it. A couple episodes of Dragon Ball Z Super's in there, so we saw the trailer for the movie, and we're like, "Do you want to go see it?" And we were the only 2 in the theater, but we had so much fun. We watched it. You could pick. We watched it in English, so we had the dub, and we just sat back. And the fight scenes are super cool. They do a cool 3D animation with it. It's not like a flat 2D. It's kind of like a little bit like Guilty Gear. You know what I mean? Like how it can go around the characters a little bit and give it that little 3D animation. But I really enjoyed it. Thought both Andy and I were excited throughout the whole thing. So we saw Dragon Ball Super this weekend. And on the video game side, I'm still playing Live Alive. I have 2 stories left.
Live Alive.
Live Alive is how it's pronounced. Thank you, Marty. Is Live Alive? Live
Alive.
It's not apples. This is like tomatoes. Not one of those.
I think it should be Live Alive. But
I think it actually is Live Alive, right?
Live Alive.
I thought it was Live Alive.
There's a thing. I accidentally spoiled the secret for myself. But
don't say anything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
If we're getting into spoilers territories, then go.
So, Nick, what you been watching?
What have you been doing?
Video game side, Cult of the Lamb. I picked it up. Super fun. I'm about halfway through.
Good reviews.
It's on my wish list.
It's really fun, but it feels like it's going to be short. I've only been playing maybe 5 hours, and I think I'm already halfway through in terms of the bosses and stuff I can see.
Okay.
But it's really fun. It's cute. I actually love the sim management way more than the action parts. The action parts are pretty straightforward. If you play Binding of Isaac, it's kind of like a simple version of that. TV show side, looking forward to House of the Dragon later tonight. And
Yes, we're recording on a Friday.
She-Hulk. First episode was super fun. I was kind of iffy on it based on the trailers, but I really enjoyed the first episode.
I watched episode 1 and thought it was good.
Yeah,
I thought it was fine. Like, I will watch more. I'll watch it through, but I'll tell you, man, like, I think I am in the middle of Marvel fatigue big time. Like, I'm not really like excited to, like, I have no desire to like rush downstairs and binge all of like what's available. I'm just like, I'm watching it as I can. I'm so behind on those shows.
I watched it too. My only thing was, if you saw the trailers, that was episode 1.
Yeah,
I mean, literally everything was episode 1 in the trailer. So I'm anxious to see where they go after that. We'll see. I'm like you. It was fine. My wife is like, I don't even know if I want to watch another episode. She is super Marvel fatigued right now. So
yeah. I'm just.
So one thing two things. Well, a thing I'm playing Live Alive. So I've still got. I'm finishing up the prehistoric. I got 3 more chapters to go. I think it was Matt. You said that the near future was horrible. Is that right?
That's the one I'm still on. It's not the best one.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that one next, because you said the Wild West was the best. So I'm going to save that one for last.
The Wild West one is awesome. Yeah. It's just a cool story.
I'm saving that one for last. And
that one in Ancient China.
Yeah, the Ancient China. Cool, I have done that one. The thing I've just watched, something out of the blue I never heard of till a YouTuber recommended it yesterday. A movie on Netflix called RRR from India.
Oh yeah, did you watch it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's my number 1 movie of the year. It is my number 1. I mean, it blew us. I can't even describe this movie to you. It's 3 hours long, and people are like, "I'm out." I could have gone more. The story the story just keeps you engaged and just keeps going and going. It's like, how is it gonna end? I'm telling you right here, the whole premise is there's 2 historical Indian people who are revolutionaries during the 1920s. The premise is they never met each other. What happens if they meet each other and they're superheroes? Mm-hmm. And that's all you need to know. And it is so good.
I want to see it really bad. I've seen clips. I've seen trailers. I've actually watched the first like 15 minutes of it, but just didn't have time to. I'm dying to watch it all. RRR is on. That's on Netflix. I'm excited to get to that. I'm glad to hear as much as you did. Makes me want to go see it more.
Before this, Anything Everywhere All at Once was my number 1. It's now number 2.
Did either of you guys watch Prey?
Yes.
Prey was good.
It was very good. Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
So that's another one on my list. I need to watch.
The
Prey
best recent Predator movie.
I've heard it's the second best Predator movie.
Yeah, probably the first one and then this one.
Yeah.
The second one just would be nostalgia. I remember seeing that.
That was all right. The Danny Glover one, that was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's way better compared to all the other recent ones besides Prey.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
That's not saying a lot.
That's true. All right, everybody. I know we ran a little bit long, but hey, it's the first time we've gotten back together and chatted. So, guys, I enjoyed it. Hopefully now we can get the ball rolling again and go every week. And if you're watching and not subscribed, please do so. If you liked what we talked about tonight, hit that or smash that. Whatever you do with that like button down there, go do that right now. Do what?
Do what Marty said. That's what I said. Yeah.
Hit smash. Thump,
it's awesome to be back. I'm glad to be chatting with you guys again. Let's get this rolling again.
Yep. All right. We'll see everybody soon.